Hello, on this little tutorial here, this is an old piece of a panel that I had did some different things on, and it left some residue. So I just thought I would do an abstract painting of a prophetic dance, and you can see where there's some water droplets on the left hand side there, and just some other little things. My stencil right now that I have is a lady dancing, and she's got her hands thrown back. But I'm just going to do some different techniques, spraying here. You see me using a little bit of a stencil tape, and I'm going over and kind of making like you would saran wrap, I guess, wad it up, and then spray heavy paint, and then you go in and you lay it down and pull it off, and it leaves little ripples in the paint. It's better. I used to do things like this all the time in automotive paint, but here I'm just using illustration, Cretex illustration, and it is more difficult. It's not the same as using, automotive paint, but it can be done. So I'm, you're gonna see me do some different things on here. Here I'm just laying in some blue because I want it to be kind of like a wispy blue background with little sparkles in it, and her dress is flowing up into the atmosphere, and I want it to kind of look like, I don't know, kind of cosmic looking, I guess. And actually sprayed some water on it so the water would run down and we would see some little droplets in it. And that's just, part of an abstract. You can do different different things. And then I'm gonna lay a plastic bag over it, pull it off, and then you have it will leave little wrinkles. But I had sprayed too much paint, so then I had to keep going over it, which is okay. It's still gonna leave a texture there. And this panel that was old that I'm working on right now, it had been gessoed, so it's not going to act the same as a panel that's just been kind of sanded, wet sanded. It actually has gesso on it, and so it's fine, but it's still got some texture to the back of it, so that paint will stick to it differently. And this is just the first step that I started with this, but actually it's been like a week that since I've done this, because I've been having some back issues, and I'm finding out that I'm going to have to stop standing and painting and start sitting more, and it's just almost impossible for me to do. I always learned by standing up, so it's kind of hard to break old habits, and when I used to groom dogs, I stood up too, and people always told me I should sit, and it was just so hard for me to do that. But now I'm kind of in the position where I have to learn to do it. So getting older, and that's what comes along with getting older. And just putting in some white highlights there and some little white dots, and I'm seeing that you can't see it very well from the camera, but there is some really bright areas with bright dots in there. And I add different colors too here and there, and I might even go in with the paintbrush, and that way it's got some different type of flow in it. Pulling off the skirt area here. And I can see where some of the paint had ran underneath the tape, which actually is okay for this because it is kind of an abstract piece. So I'm not going to be so horribly terrified by that, like, oh my God, I gotta fix it. No, it's just gonna work along with it. I was trying to get off that little brown speck there. I don't know what it is, but I'm having a hard time getting it off, so I just painted it. Just took a little paintbrush and just started adding some little dots in there, here and there. You also can do speckles with just putting like a piece of cardboard up against your airbrush tip and kind of turning your air pressure down a little bit so it will spit and speckle. You also can do it like that. And you can just use a toothbrush too and dip it in paint and then pull the bristles back to where it splatters on there to make little specks and things. And here I'm just using my hand to kind of smooth that out and it gives it kind of a flowing look there. I wasn't sure what color to use for her flowing dress, but it will be different colors. But I think I'm laying on pink. Yeah, I'm laying on pink, and then I will come back in with some yellow. But I have to lay in the pink first so that it won't look green once I lay the yellow. So it will hide it a little bit. As your colors mix as you spray them out, and yellow and blue make green. We all know that, don't we? Oh, Airbrush Magazine just shared a video. Woo-hoo. I haven't sent no work into them yet, but I might. It's already starting to look flowy. Love it. Can't wait to get back up there to the shop and start working on it again, actually, because I've been down for like a week. I hate being down. And I had to give up my other job I had, and because of my back and legs, and it's just like, darn it, you pay the price for what you did in your younger days. And I crawled around on the floor pinstriping and stood for so many hours at a time. I'm paying for it now. So for all you guys starting out, learn to sit down. Like, I was thinking about using a X-Acto knife to scratch out some highlights because it's a little harder on this other side because I had sprayed so heavy. So I had to come in with the X-Acto knife and kind of scratch out some little highlight specks here and there. And you use your knife at a different angle. It's not like straight on, it's kind of sideways and at the flat to scratch in those highlights. And the way that it's angled, you're not seeing them so much, but they're there. And now I decided to just pull off the whole piece instead of doing it in sections. And you can see there, like underneath where it had some splotches from another technique I was trying with water-based paint. I was trying to water droplets with water-based paint, That's something I used to do all the time with automotive paint, but it's almost impossible to do it with water-based paints. You about have to use the automotive. But there is a way to do it. It doesn't look quite as good, but if you spray the water droplets and you spray a clear coat over the water droplets and then spray your paint, illustration or wicked, whatever you have, on each side, and allow it has to be completely flat and completely straight, and allow it to dry, you can achieve somewhat the same effect, but you have to have that clear coat over the water droplets first. And I might show that technique on here sometime, but I'd have to set the camera up differently because it would have to be flat. But you couldn't do a car with it, so what's the point, right? I mean, if it was just a flat piece of metal, you could still do it, but for maybe an art piece or something. But if you're trying to work on a car with water-based airbrush paint, impossible, can't do it. Thank you for watching, guys. Check back.